welcome one and all to the K.O.E. Nation for a very special review of a premium single malt Highland Scotch whiskey from none other than the Dalmore. I am your King of Extreme, Phil K.O.E., the Lord of the Scottish Highlands, joined by my indomitable broadcast partner, the one, the only,
the Blend Master, Tony G. Super excited for this, but first, like, share, subscribe, folks.
It's a must. It's a must. But this is one I've been looking forward to because this is aged in Apostoli sherry. This is Luceo travel exclusive, or Luceo, just depending on if it's the Latin or Gaelic pronunciation. I'm not quite sure. Let us know in the comments. Regardless of its pronunciation, there you go there, T. I'll get this ready. But what I do like about this is it is aged in a special sherry, and we'll get into that in a minute.
Luceo means I shine, and it is taken from the motto of the Clan Mackenzie in 1263. The chief of the Clan Mackenzie bravely saved King Alexander III of Scotland from the fury of a charging stag. At the Dalmore, we believe that fortune favors the brave, and this proved to be true for the Clan Mackenzie, who were given 3 rewards by the grateful king, including the motto, Luceo non ordo, I shine, not burn, when descendants of the clan were chosen to take over the Dalmore distillery in 1867. They took with them this belief, which we have been honoring ever since. Oh, everything about this is so distinguished. This is craftsmanship, folks.
Get to the third paragraph that really breaks down
this, the Dalmore Luceo, begins as a complex assemblage of spirits selected from our finest American white oak ex-bourbon casks, making the perfect canvas from which to create this special single malt. It is then finished in first fill Apostoli sherry casks, specifically selected from the renowned Gonzalez Baez Bodega. The casks have held the finest sherry for 30 years before they are ready to achieve the flavors our master distiller is seeking for this expression. The aged sherry imparts a full and rich character, ensuring that this exceptional malt whiskey does more than stand apart. It shines.
So boy, that doesn't sound like that.
No, it just sounds pretty mediocre, obviously. I'm honestly shocked I got through all of that without stumbling on my words.
I'm getting like a chocolate
Wow.
and musky coffee.
Oh, I love this nose. And so far, 2 for 2 on the Trav exclusives. With the Regalas, was it? Not the Regala. The Dominion.
That's coming out.
The Dominion and the Valor had very different nose to palate offerings, which kind of blew us away on both.
I found the Dominion to be pretty matching.
I thought it was a little different from nose to palate, more so than you, but definitely in the Valor. That was
I'm getting a lot
wildly
of
different.
chocolates and coffee on the nose, and not a lot of fruit.
I'm gonna go the other way. I think there's fruit on the front half, and then there's a bit
What-
coffee
what
on
are
the
you-
back.
What are you finding there?
I would say
Like, there is a fruit, but I can't
I'm thinking like
tell ya.
orange, like a not like a chocolate orange, but maybe some grapefruit. But yeah, orange specifically.
I was about to say
A citrus fruit.
I was about to say some sort of like almost like a tangerine, maybe a little bit. But before you get into that, let's get a little taste,
I'm
man.
curious. I'm getting fruit. I don't know.
All right, we'll see.
I see what you mean with the coffee though. It's a coffee aroma for sure, but I'm sticking with the citrus.
Well, sir,
It's really inviting. Floral. There's some citrus. Tangerine, maybe. A thickness on the flavor, but not thick in continuity.
I was about to say like
Oh, wow.
it's fruity on the front, thick maple syrupy on the back.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, a maple, for sure.
interesting.
That's outstanding. I really like this a lot. I'm shocked.
The chocolatiness kind of stays throughout the front and the back. It's there with the fruit on the front, and it's there with the maple on the back.
It's not specifically spicy, but there is something that dances on your taste buds a bit. It's very
40%.
light. It's very light in texture. It's very crisp and clean tasting. And like I said, if you swish this around your palate, it's not spicy as you would expect, but there is a bit of a popping.
Marvelous, marvelous. You know, with
Wow.
all the Dalmore,
Wow.
you really don't get much malt. Like,
No,
it's just,
no.
that's something you don't, but yeah, I always kind of thought the Apostoli sherry, because I've never had it, I figured that was what kind of gave the 15 its light qualities. But,
Okay.
boy, this is another sherry bomb, just like
Yeah.
the Dominion, but just a very different style. So
Yeah,
this one,
wildly different. I honestly think this is
chocolatey
vastly
goodness.
different.
Marvelous, marvelous stuff.
Okay, let me get into this because I'm very curious now. The aroma, cognac-soaked Madeira cake, tangy fruits, treacle tart, crushed almonds, and praline
You're
chocolate.
right. That was where I was getting that slight fruit. It's more cognac.
On the palate, Parkin cake, pistachios, plums, praying pan, Colombian coffee, and Sanguelno blood oranges.
Okay, so we were both kind of like, it's a citrus, but not something I've had.
And the finish, first thing, maple syrup. As you said, Demerara sugar, sweet, muscatel, and gingerbread.
I will accept my sommelier medal anytime now, folks. I mean, I'm sorry. But yeah, this is amazing stuff. So
Wow.
now, Tony, we come to that interesting point where
That's beautiful.
we now must grade this scotch on 4 scales. And for those who are new here, the secret 5th question. So, we're going to grade this on 4 scales on a 5-star scale. So, first, on a 5-star scale, Tony, as a single malt scotch, how would you rate this?
I am going to give this...
It's tough, isn't
Give me a reason not to go 4.
there isn't one.
Okay, there you have it.
Yeah, it's... And I'm actually going to agree with you. 1 star and a half star or a quarter star being, you don't need it. To 5 stars, you need to drink this before you decide, you shuffle off this mortal coil and leave this life. You
Yeah.
need to just try it one time. I'm giving this 4 stars.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's... In terms of single malt, this stands up against any single malt in the world.
Yeah, I think this is...
And I like the fact... I don't like the fact that they're travel exclusives and they're
Yeah.
so hard to find. I do like the fact that they separate off the first fill batches
Okay.
on a cask,
Sure.
because a lot of distilleries would just use this for blending. If they've got something that's a little too bitter or something that didn't go quite right, they'd use one of these batches and just blend it off.
Okay.
Even if it's a single malt within the same distillery, they'll kind of like, this one's got a little bit too much this. We can use this sherry bomb to really kind of round it out, send it out in one of our single malt blends, and no one's the wiser. Dalmore puts a little bit more time, thought, and effort into its special batches.
Yeah.
That's how we get this.
It's always going to be craftsmanship to the max, no matter what you sample from the Dalmore. This is clearly no exception.
Now, what's kind of funny is when you're reading all these things, they're talking about cognac-soaked Madeira cake. I have never had that before in my life.
I want it
Yeah.
now. Like, can we have that now, please?
Yeah, and then, like, Parkin cake.
Don't know what that is, but it sounds delightful.
Yeah, like, I just love the, you're gonna taste this, and like, boy.
I don't even know what this is, but I like it.
Now, granted, the bottle is geared towards a European market, so folks in Europe would know that, and it just kind of gives me a chuckle, like, wow, that is not geared towards European or American consumers at all. But what are you
I
gonna
think
do?
that's why it stands out so much.
Well, yeah, it's so different from anything
Yeah,
we know.
For sure. I think that's why I like it.
Yeah,
That's why
I'm
it's so
gonna
appealing.
definitely keep my eyes on in the future, pretty much across my life. Any first fill releases from the Dalmore, or really any distillery. This actually increased my interest in first fill batches. Okay.
Let's be frank. I could take a piece of duct tape and Sharpie and write the Dalmore on it, and part of you would want to buy it.
No, unless it's got the actual stag. I mean, like, come on now. That's... Hey now, Tony. I resemble that remark, sir. I don't know what to say to you.
As a Scotch.
Okay, putting this up against every Scotch whiskey in all the world. Well, or really just in Scotland. That's a bit more appropriate. Now, if we were to put it up against single malts, that would be a different category. But even then, this would still dominate in all the world's single malts. But so as a Scotch, putting it up against all the single malts, all the blended, the finished, peated, non-peated that you've ever had, where does this rank on a 5-star scale?
I'm gonna go 4 1/4.
And why is that, good sir?
Because it's not a niche appeal, like I've said many a time. I think this appeals to a certain market, but it's different enough that this would appeal to many other markets, like you were just saying. This would be very different and highly appealing to an American market because it is so different. But not just that, again, the craftsmanship is just so standout.
Yes, Now again, you're going to be kind of shocked here, but I'm going to give this 4 stars as a Scotch. It's just right there, something that you really should try. In terms of introducing someone to Scotch, this one would be, you'd have to really know the person.
Yeah.
If they've got a sweet tooth, if they like coffees, if they like dark, earthy flavors, this one might be the one for them. If they like spicy meatballs, you might want to like point them towards like either the Valor or something else in the Dalmore line that's got a little bit more of that spice to it. This one I'm going to stick with 4. Just excellent, excellent Scotch whiskey, no matter how you want to measure it. Now, we move on to, here's a tough one. Cask-aged spirits. Right? Or do we normally do whiskey?
Whiskey. Yeah.
Let's do whiskey, and
Let's say whiskey.
We'll do them both. Whiskey.
As a whiskey, I'm going to go 4 1/4 because I think that among the 3 travel exclusives that we tried so far, this one could probably appeal to the most amount of people. Like the other 2 would really have to know that they have an appreciation for the flavor palette. This one I think would offer a much more inviting taste for just about anybody who wants to sample some Scotch from the Highland. I think this is definitely a whiskey you could, for any occasion. Honestly, I think this is all around really pleasant and inviting. I can't think of an occasion it wouldn't be good.
I'm gonna stick with 4 stars again as a whiskey. Okay. It's just amazing. I would not cocktail it.
No.
I would not disgrace it with cocktailing. Okay?
I don't even think I'd put an ice cube in this.
You know, I'm gonna agree with you. Like, I think even like the Dominion, you could put 1 ice cube in, and it would be an enjoyable dram for the evening. This one should just be enjoyed neat.
Yeah, I think
as
this
it presents out of the bottle.
Yeah.
Maybe put a few drops of water to bring it down to 35 ABV, but no more.
No. Other than that, you're diluting it past the point
now,
of appreciation.
This is an interesting category: cask-aged spirits.
I'll go 4.
Okay, that's putting it up against all the rums, brandies, cognacs, bourbons, Japanese whiskeys, whatever you can imagine in the world of cask-aged spirits. And I'm going to agree with you. 4 stars. This one is a 4-star whiskey down the line. Can't even be disputed. It doesn't shake from the fact that it is a 4-star whiskey, which is an amazing review in every category. It excels.
I think that this is a good enough bottling that this could be transitioned over to their principal line, and I think it would do very well on a world market. I don't think that this needs to be an exclusive.
You know, I think you would be right, but I'm a guy that really likes the Dalmore, so I might not be the most fair judge. But yes, I would definitely. Well, we'll get to that here in a little bit. So we've gone to all of the gradings. Now we move on to shelving.
It's tough.
I was going to explain to the people what we're doing, but fine. Yes, it is a top shelf.
If you put this anywhere but the top shelf, I'm sorry, you're just wrong.
There's a top, middle, or bottom shelf, folks. Where you put it? And yes, this is top shelf.
Yeah, it's top shelf.
I don't know what else to say. It's an amazing
It's a
offer.
Dalmore, it's an exclusive, and it tastes amazing.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. So Tony, do you recall U.S. dollars what this cost?
This one was, I want to say, just under 90, if I remember correctly.
Okay, all right.
This one's not quite a liter,
And
so
for any Dalmore, that's actually pretty good.
exactly.
So yes, when this bottle goes empty, this is the secret question. If you were to come across this bottle for $90, I know, 90 USD, would you add it to your collection?
Hell yes.
And yes, I will replace this bottle when it is empty. It's going to take some time because this is a special occasion.
You might replace that bottle before it's empty.
I'm probably going to
There you
replace
go.
that before it's empty.
There you
Yeah.
go.
But folks, my word, as I'm known to say around here, before we go, T, anything you'd like to say to the people?
Shalante.
All that being said, thank you for joining us for our review of the Dalmore, Luceo, however you want to say it. It hits the tongue a lot easier than the tongue says it, folks. This is an amazing travel exclusive, and I could not recommend it highly enough. Apostolese sherry, one of the secret ingredients that makes the 15 years so good. But I can also see why they separate the first fill from perhaps the second fill, because this is very powerful.
Oh.
And it would have overpowered and taken a lot of the cleanness away from the 15. So I'm very, very, very satisfied with this, folks. Definitely give it a shot, but I am your King of Extreme Phil, K.O.E. Be sure to like, share, subscribe right here at K.O.E. Nation. I am signing off and handing it off to my indomitable broadcast partner, the one, the only,
The humble blend master, Tony G. Thank you for joining.